people of the radio and of the YouTubes. I'm your host, Tyler Cutting, with my co-host, co-DJ, Colby Dick.
Hello.
And here's the Colby and... Gosh darn it, I always mess it up.
Oh, we need more practice.
We need more practice. It's only the second week, and it's been 2 weeks because we had the winter break.
Yes.
The Colby and Tyler Podcast. How you doing, people? How you doing, Colby?
I'm doing pretty good.
It's a wonderful Monday. We actually are on time this time, and hopefully our levels are right this time because we're fixing stuff. His mouth is actually closer to the mic, so we can hear him for once.
Hello.
Like, just test it real quick, because I want to see the levels.
Test.
Yeah, see, we got plenty of levels.
Yep, we got levels. It's all good.
So, hopefully there's a little less technical difficulties. If not, be ready for our theme song, if you will, and our technical... the funny mariachi band. Yeah. If you've not seen our... Now you got to go back and watch the first episode, because now you know what I am angry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you didn't see our first episode for the season, which I'm titling ours 2.5.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Because we started it at the beginning of the year and then didn't really do much about it, and so if you didn't see our last episode, you can go ahead and click on the link right there. It's gonna pop up on the screen.
Right on his face.
Well, it's the little
the little eye thing.
Yeah, the eye thing that gives you a link. No, it's up here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right here. It's right.
It's hard because it's mirrored.
It's probably already gone by the time we're pointing at it. But anyways, if you missed it, you can go up there and check it. If you want to see future episodes, or if from later on, or if you want to see our previous podcast, the links for that will be in the description. I'll mention that at the end of it. But yeah, so second episode, we are going to be trying to work out a few more of the kinks. And we're a little more prepared. We're back to our normal schedule, still with the added segment in the middle. But we're back to our normal schedule. No more 13-minute long lists of video games and movies and stuff.
Now it's going to be 13-minute rambling on what's new.
Yeah, pretty much. So if you missed our previous seasons, basically I have a segment of video games and technology news, and I go from the past week. I only have 2 things, but they're pretty big things, and they have some information, a lot of information.
I've got 4 things. They're not quite as big as his, but they're still worth
hopefully they'll
talking
take up enough time. And since we're spanned between 2 periods, you don't have to be rushed or anything, and I can still talk for as long as I talk because I don't know how to stop talking.
Clearly.
That's why I'm the one talking during the intro.
Exactly.
So I'll have a segment where I talk about news from the past week on video games and technology. He'll have a segment on news about movies and comics from the past week. You also sometimes, last season at least, you brought in like a comic of the week.
I'm going to try to get back into that.
Into that. He'll have a comic of the week to like display and talk about for his segment. So if you missed last week, I'm going to give a quick rundown. We do our intro, which is the intro.
What we're doing right now.
Then we'll do my segment. Then in the middle, which we added this season, we're going to have a little challenge segment or something. This week it is a challenge, kind of. I mean, it's not really like anything.
It's a game.
It's more of a game, kind of. And we'll tell you more about that when we get to it. Then it'll be his segment, and I forgot to give you a transition last week into your segment.
I noticed that.
I did the whole boom, like I was going to have a transition there, but I didn't edit transition there. I'm like, well, crap. Anyways, so it'll be his, and then at the end, if we have any time, which we usually do, because last week's we rambled on for 13 minutes each, but we still had plenty of time left over. So hopefully the podcast won't be too long, but I mean, it's going to be longer than last season.
Yeah, we're going to play it by ear, because this is a new setup, new time.
Hopefully we'll get more used to it. It's sad, this is our last time doing this.
Oh, that's
because
sad.
it's senior year, or it's the second semester.
Yeah. At least in this capacity. I mean, we might be able to do it in a different setup,
in a different life,
off radio, just like record
maybe
somewhere else. Maybe
I highly doubt. Like, where are you going to college or planning on going to college?
I'm not going to college this year, but the year after.
Oh, you're going to take a year off?
I'm going to take a year off. Yeah.
So maybe if I get accepted into RIT, then if we're in the same state, then we can
we're still
keep
local,
going.
So, yeah.
Anyways, so let's get right in. Well, first of all, let's do our intro how we normally do it. How's your day today, Colby, so far?
My day's pretty good, pretty uneventful.
Not like last week where I also forgot to scan in the pictures and show the pictures you made.
Well, it's okay because I held them up so they could see it.
You only showed one, remember? You showed one, and I'm like, I'll scan them in, and I'll put it in.
Oh yeah, I showed one, and then I almost brought it up.
Actually, you know what? I have it, so we can show it now. So you keep
rambling. Stalling for time. Okay. Yeah. So my day, I had a test this morning. Then I had 2 free periods where I did some research for the game that we're about to play. And then I had class, and now we're here.
So 2 weeks ago, he made these pictures in, what was it, graphic design? You were in graphic design, you were just playing around?
I just made them myself, yeah. I was just
so
design.
he made 2 Deadpool things. Here's one of them, and I said I was going to scan them in. I can't see it because it's over my face. I said I was going to scan them in because I didn't think it was going to be big enough to see, but you can see it.
Yeah, you can.
So this is his first one. Give a little explanation as to what the heck this is.
This is Deadpool, and for those of you who read the comics, you don't need an explanation because Deadpool is just Deadpool. But for those of you who have not read the comics, Deadpool is the merc with the mouth. I can't talk. He's the merc with the mouth. He talks a lot. He rambles, kind of like what we do, except not as cleanly. And he also kills people for a living. But he's also has got weird superpowers. He can
regenerate better than Wolverine.
Better than Wolverine, faster than Wolverine, and he also knows he's in a comic book.
Yeah, he breaks the fourth wall, which doesn't exist in his comics a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't exist in a whole lot of comics, but he was one of the first to actually do it.
Yeah.
He wasn't the first.
Do you know why that was? Like, was there a whole, like, running joke with the authors or something? They wanted to make a superhero that knew he was a superhero in a comic?
From what I understand of Deadpool's origins, it's kind of weird. A lot of people think that Deadpool is a Deathstroke ripoff because Deathstroke is a DC character.
Right.
And he's the guy with the eye patch and the swords and the guns, and he's a Teen Titans villain. It was two artists at Marvel. They were talking about how hard it is now because this is the 80s and the characters got a bit more complex to draw. There was a guy who was working on Spider-Man and the guy who was working on the New Mutants, which is where Deadpool came from.
Right.
The guy who was working on Spider-Man, he was like, "Dude, your mutants are way too difficult to draw. All I gotta do with Spider-Man is draw the eyes and the webbing, and it's pretty basic. It's just all red and blue." And then it was like, yeah, because like they were drawing Cable, who's got like a metal arm and like armor and stuff, and there's a lot of armor in the X-Men. And then as a joke, he just drew an even simpler version of Spider-Man, which turned into Deadpool with just the black circles for the eyes.
And that's the whole joke, is like he's the other Spider-Man that's like got a mouth, and he does killing instead of saving people.
Yeah, and then they wanted to reintroduce the Weapon X program, so that's where the backstory came from, with the healing and like Wolverine. And he was a mercenary because everybody on Weapon X was a mercenary at one point. And then the fourth wall, I think they were just having so much fun with the comic and wanted to make him different. They're just like, what if he was so crazy that he thought he was in the comic book, but he was actually right about it? And that just took off, yeah.
So did you see the new movie? I know we're jumping to your segment
I did see
early,
the new movie. I'm going to talk about that later. That's one of my things I'm going to talk about.
But then this was the second one he didn't show. He showed the other one for a split second in the other one, but this is the other one.
Yeah.
This is your knockoff Deadpool of
Watchmen.
Of Watchmen.
The Watchmen symbol with the blood splatter and the smiley face. Yep. So, yeah. So that's what I did 2 weeks ago.
That's making up for my my lack of doing things in editing. I have more time because we're doing it on Monday this time, so I have a whole extra day. I have a whole extra day to edit. I was here on Friday, this past Friday, over break, because Mr. Andrew was in the room.
Yeah.
And I was able to finally... we had some issues with the rendering. Some of the pictures didn't show up. They did all show up in the final podcast, which is nice. But I had to re-render some parts of it, and then I had to export it, and then it hit like a part where it unrendered, and it stopped exporting, and I'm like, what the heck? Did that again, and it got to 15%, and then it would stop, and be like, what the heck's going on? I did it again, and mind you, it takes probably half an hour to get to 15%.
Right.
It gets to 15% again, and it stops again. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I had to stop, figure it out. I had to re-render the things, had to find the other images, put it back in, whatever else. Finally get it.
Big pain.
It exports in probably an hour and a half. And then I had to upload it, which doesn't take too long. It's just me like putting in the links and writing the description. And I added the annotations details and stuff to that.
Yeah.
All the minor things that just go into the actual YouTube video itself. But that was a pain in the butt. Yeah. I was working my butt off.
Also, this podcast probably won't have as many visual aids.
No, it definitely won't. It will, because I'm going to have visual aids for my segment and your segment and whatever else, and I'll put up text for our thing.
But it won't be nearly as many.
It definitely will not be. I think I'm estimating here, but it's probably a good estimation. I want to say there was probably close to 1,200 pictures.
1,200?
Between mine and yours.
As in 1,200?
1,200 pictures.
That's a lot of pictures.
That's a lot of pictures. Plus all of the titles and the music that I had to put in and all the transitions and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That was a fun podcast to edit. This will be a lot easier.
Yeah, that's why we can't go on hiatus like this, because we got to catch up so much.
So instead of that, we're going to simplify it, and we'll move on to my segment with video games and technology. Boom, I actually put in a transition that time.
Okay.
At least I hope I did. If there wasn't there, that's me already have rendered it. I already rendered it, and I didn't want to go back and do it again. So anyways, on to my segment. I actually have paper this time. I got the date wrong because I messed up dates, but it doesn't matter because you know it's the 22nd today. By the way, it's recorded on February 22nd, 2016.
Yes.
Uploaded Fridays. Talk about them more in the end. Anyways, on to my segment. So for the past week of video games and technology news, there's a new YouTube channel out there called HideoTube. It's run by the video game designer who used to work for Konami, Hideo Kojima. He's a very big video game designer. He got in some trouble at E3 this past year. Oh. And I think he's banned from that now. That was a few weeks ago.
What happened?
I honestly don't know. I didn't look into it a whole lot, but he's banned from E3. Anyways, I think, unless it's another person, but I'm pretty certain that's what it is. But he has a new YouTube channel called HideoTube. His first video was talking to Kenji Yano, who was I think one of his partners at Konami. Either that or another ex-Konami employee. About his top 10 movies of 2015. So this is kind of bleeding into yours.
Yeah.
So far, the video's only in Japanese, but he's asked his fans to submit captions for it. When I looked this up, only about half the video is in English. But I think by now they have the entire video in English. So here's his top 10. It doesn't actually go in order because he starts with 1, but the last one's his favorite. So his top 10 was Star Wars Episode 7, obviously. Fires on the Plane, Straight Outta Compton, The Intern, Shaun the Sheep, the movie, Nightcrawler, Kingsman: The Secret Service, Whiplash, and Locke. Now,
Whiplash was 2 years ago.
You're about to say 2014, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, a couple of these are Fires on the Plane, Nightcrawler, Kingsman: The Secret Service, Whiplash, and Locke are all 2014 movies in America.
Kingsman was 2015.
No,
right?
Kingsman was 2014. I looked it up. Kingsman: The Secret Service was 2014.
That came out the same weekend as 50 Shades of Grey.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, then I might be wrong on that. Anyways, but those 2014 movies in America and Europe. In Japan, they were not released until 2015, so that's why it's on his top 15.
Okay.
And number 10 was Mad Max Fury Road, was his favorite movie from 2015.
Yeah, I agree. Most of those. I don't think Shaun the Sheep, the movie, was that good. It was good. It was fun. It was cute, but it's not the same level as like Whiplash or Nightcrawler or Kingsman or even Star Wars.
But anyway, so he's got this new YouTube channel, and it's filmed at the YouTube space in Tokyo, which was one of Kojima's last stops on last year's Technology World Tour. And he started this series after their encouragement. So while he was meeting with them, he's like, "Hey, since you're not in Konami anymore, we can give you a space and we can start doing a show of yours." So it was their idea. But he didn't just meet with game makers on that tour. He also met with J.J. Abrams on that technology tour.
Cool.
And that explains, and I don't know if you caught it, and I didn't catch it, but I remember it now. There's a little Easter egg in Star Wars Episode 7, the little red alien that pops out of the sand that kind of flashes back to the original movies where
with the
alien...
Cantina,
Yeah, where the little red alien pops out of the sand and sees BB-8 rolling off in the distance. He says Kojima.
Does he really?
Yeah, he says Kojima.
Like, Kojima?
Yeah, he says Kojima, which explains that Easter egg because he met with J.J. Abrams on that.
That is
Technology
very
World
cool.
Tour.
I want to see it again.
Yeah, I want to know when it's coming out, and I have not been able to find it. I might look it up again when I'm editing this, but I pre-ordered the night I went to see it, opening night. We went to see it. I pre-ordered when I got home the digital version of it. I pre-ordered it, so. I saw the movie, immediately ordered it.
Yeah, if I were to guess, it would probably come out
sometime this summer, I would assume. Yeah. So I'm just waiting for that so I can go back and rewatch it as many times as I want to find all the little Easter eggs. I missed it. I saw it a second time with my family like a month ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Or it was over Christmas break, I think. I saw it a second time, and I wanted specifically to be there for Rey's Force Vision.
Yes.
Because I heard there were the whole, like, I didn't realize it the first time I saw it, but there were the whole, like, there was Alec Guinness saying, like, Rey, and they did that whole thing, and they had Ian McGregor come in and do lines, and they had the whole, I wanted to hear those things. So I went to see it again with my family Christmas break, and I went to the bathroom right before that scene started, and I came back, and she's yelling at, she's saying, "Don't give me the lightsaber," or whatever.
You know what's funny?
I was so mad.
It's a little bit of a tangent, but I'll make it quick. Is on not AMC, yeah, AMC's website. AMC is the theater with the nice chairs.
Right? Yeah.
AMC's website, you can order tickets, you can see reviews, and they have a third thing where it's called it's like pee break or something like that.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And
yeah.
and it's really cool because it'll tell you when it's safe
Yeah.
to go to the bathroom, and then it'll even give a little description of what you missed.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was ordering tickets to see Star Wars the third time, my dad saw that and like, that is way cool.
No, there's a whole app you can have that's not also AMC, but there's like this. My dad has it, I think, and I used to have it, but I don't care anymore because I don't see movies regularly enough. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on to my next topic, which is my second one, and I only have 2 this week, but I mean it's fairly long. I got 2 pages here.
Okay.
Over the past week, Xbox fanboys are mad about getting free content. Why would they be getting mad about free content, you say? Well, Microsoft announced that if you pre-order Quantum Break for the Xbox One, you will get a ton of free content, including a free full download of their last game called Alan Wake, including all of the DLC. Okay. And Alan Wake was a 360 game, but it's backwards compatible, so you can play it on the Xbox One. You get a free full download of that, plus all the DLC from it. You get a free full download of Alan Wake's American Nightmare, which is a sequel to that, also backwards compatible from 360. Right. And you receive the Windows 10 version of Quantum Break completely free, and you're able to transfer your saves between the two via the cloud. So you can play it on your Windows 10 computer and on the Xbox One and have the same game going.
Okay, I'm still not seeing the downside.
You get all of this for free, and and you're like, well, what's the hook? Microsoft's probably ripping you off in some way or taking your data. No, all free, all actually free, and people are still getting mad about it. It ranges, the anger ranges from downright, what are you talking about, you're an idiot, to semi-reasonable, like, okay, I can see this happening. So here's a quote from Larry Herbst Taylor on VG247, which is a website, blog website, I think. And he says, I presume the idea is that the more appealing you make the PC, the less necessary it becomes to support the Xbox division. And the less necessary it becomes to support the Xbox division, the more likely it is that it'll go away. And these rumors do seem to persist. So he's thinking, like, if you like say, oh, you're getting a free Windows 10 version of it, go play it on Windows 10. We don't care. Just play it on Windows 10. Don't care about the Xbox One. And there have been a lot of rumors how like Xbox is declining, and since Windows 10 came out, they're pushing more for like Windows 10 computers and Windows 10 phones and the new HoloLens, which is going to be coming out for consumer use like next year, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be expensive, but it's going to be coming out for consumer. Right. And he continues, which, if you spent money for an Xbox One, and especially if you have that console fanboy mentality about it, you're going to be very unhappy about it. And I can see where he's coming from, but I still don't see them like getting rid of the Xbox, because they like had already had plans for the next generation Xbox. Like after the Xbox One, they're coming out with another one. They're still going to make Xbox Ones. The other thing is, here's another quote from Stephen Williams. He tweeted at Phil Spencer. And he says, the choice to bring more games to Microsoft's other gaming platforms, PC, is the right choice. Glad to see you're in charge of Xbox. So people aren't all like super mad about it, but all of the console fanboys that think PC sucks and only Xbox games should come out, they're really ticked because but even then, you don't have to play the game.
Right.
You're getting it free if you pre-order the game.
Right.
So why not?
So there's no loss.
And you still get 2 console version games. You still get the Alan Wake and the Alan Wake American Nightmare game, backward compatible from 360. So you don't have to play the PC game. You can stay playing on Xbox, which I don't get why people are mad.
The feud between console gamers and PC gamers.
As long as you're not a mobile gamer, because you're not a gamer.
Yeah, mobile. I don't count.
I'm gonna argue against you. So.
But the feud between that is I don't get it, because for me that feud is just like the feud between Star Wars and Star Trek. Like you can like both. It's fine. They're both fine ways to entertain yourself.
Yeah.
Both with the Star Trek and
you got to be a Star Wars fan or you're a Trekkie. I'm sorry, I'm
both,
against you there.
Okay?
I'm against you there.
You can be both, but you don't have to be both. That's the thing. But you shouldn't hate people.
I think it's a little.
Who are both.
I mean, I do see the parallels between the two because there's still benefits to both. Mm-hmm. There are different things for both. If you like a certain thing, you use the one part of it that has that aspect.
Right.
You don't use the other one. But people who like I'm a PC and a console gamer. Like, I absolutely love the Xbox. I haven't used a controller since we had the original Xbox. But I still go up to my room and I still use my PC for other games on Steam and stuff like that.
Right.
So I don't see the argument between the console PC war, but there's still people mad about getting free content. This is actually a thing though. This can help Xbox exclusives by getting this free content. For example, I think did I miswrite help for hurt? I don't actually remember. Has only Oh yeah, no. It can help. It can help Xbox exclusives. For example, The Rise of the Tomb Raider, which came out last year, has only sold a little under 500,000 games, which is not a lot worldwide. Is not it's a AAA game too, so it's like one of those high-end people are expecting it to be great. It's only sold 500,000 copies. Sunset Overdrive, which was a big release, big pushing point for the Xbox One when it first came out, it only sold a little over 1 million copies in 1 year.
Oh.
So it's like the Xbox exclusives specifically, like PS4 exclusives, like Battlefield and all those stuff, they sell so much.
Right.
But for Xbox exclusives, I want to make emphasis on that, they don't. Because people Xbox isn't as popular. Personally, I like Xbox more, but that's just my opinion. In the grand scheme of worldwide opinion, most people like PS4 over Xbox One. So by giving people free content, not only on the PC but on the Xbox One, it's like it's to entice you to start playing Xbox exclusives instead of purely PS4 exclusives.
Right.
If you get a free copy on the PC and you can play it on the Xbox One. So that's the whole thing is people are mad about it, but it's actually helping the company if you think about it. So that's my segment. I know there are a lot more things that I could go into, like politics and stuff that are similar. My reaction is similar, but I think some people are just absolutely stupid. I'm sorry, but like there's some opinions that shouldn't be opinions. Like a human being, no matter who you are, a human being should not have those opinions. Like it's just downright stupid.
Hey, it's funny. I was watching Men in Black the other day because it was on TV, and Tommy Lee Jones's character Kay, he has a great line where he's like, a person is smart, people are stupid. Yeah.
It's
like they panic and they overreact.
The general opinion. Happy birthday, Hannah! Hi, you're on the podcast now. What are they doing?
Abuse.
We now have an audience member who's this little like paper plate thing, stick figure, something or other. I don't know. Anyways, shout out to one of our DJs, Hannah Farrell. The general public opinion is stupid. But like some people, a person is smart. Like there's some geniuses out there, but then the people who follow them are probably the morons.
Probably.
But without naming names, there are some people that are just
You're about to name
stupid.
a name, aren't you?
I'm not naming names. Okay. But without naming names, there's a person that's stupid. So that wraps up my topic. Now we're going to move on to our mini segment in the middle. And I guess this is our temporary name for this challenge. We might do it some other time, and if we do, we might change the name. But this is our temporary name for it, called Dictionary Dunces. Some transition there. I don't know what it is. So basically,
we could do a lot worse than Dictionary Dunces.
Yeah, we could do
okay.
something even more stupid. I was trying to think about it last night. I'm like, I don't want to come up with something stupid. Like, if it's gonna be cheesy, it's still gotta sort of be funny, maybe. But
it's gotta be catchy.
Yeah, it's gotta be catchy. And I wanted alliteration. I couldn't think of anything like dictionary. Well, let me explain the name or the game. The name of the game.
Name of the game. What's the name of the game, Tyler? Oh,
it's
we already
Dictionary
said.
Dunces.
Right.
But the game is we each found 5 Urban Dictionary words, which are usually slang or made-up words or something that they just make up for fun.
Yeah, and can I just note that 90% of the words
of them are like sexual
are
references.
very bad.
Yeah.
Like, you'll read them and you will be forever
Scarred.
changed.
Yeah.
For
So
the
that's why I
worse.
was trying to ignore all of them while
Yeah.
looking for some decent ones.
Some
which
decent ones,
I was
some
able to
funny
find.
ones.
I was able to find 5 of them.
Okay.
So the game is we each found 5. We're going to tell the other person what it is, and you can sort of play along at home, if you will. Try to guess what the word means.
Okay.
So
Wait,
I've got my 5
I gotta
words.
Try to guess the definition.
So my first word from Urban Dictionary is belly bomb. What is a
jeez.
belly bomb, Colby?
Look, I know Urban Dictionary.
I'll give you a hint. None of my words are like extremely like out there or like
Oh, okay, say
bad.
it again. Belly bomb.
belly bomb. What's a
Okay,
belly bomb?
Belly bomb is. It's nothing sexual, right?
No,
Okay.
I found all clean ones.
Good. Because I know there's a definition for that is nasty.
Specifically on
belly
Urban
bomb.
Dictionary, though.
Yeah. Belly bomb.
Come on, we don't have a whole lot of time.
Okay, so it's when. It's. Jeez.
Come on, Colby,
like
it's not that bad.
Okay. It's a wrestling move where
Okay,
it's
keep
like a
going.
body slam, but instead of slamming on them, you slam them to the side with your belly.
So it's like the stereotypical sumo wrestler. They just
Yeah, they
boom
just go
out of the way
boom.
like that.
Yeah.
No, you would be wrong in that
Dang it.
instance. A belly bomb is a food that hits your stomach long after you've eaten it, usually making you sluggish afterwards.
Oh, so like every food from McDonald's.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I could eat
so
like
that's a belly
6
bomb.
Big Macs, no problem. But then
An
an
hour later, you're like, oh god,
Yeah.
that's a belly bomb. Icicle Fingers.
Icicle Fingers. Okay. I feel like this one's fairly simple, but I feel like I'm gonna get it wrong anyway, because of Urban Dictionary. Icicle Fingers, if I were to guess, is when you're outside for a long time and your hands start to like get so cold that even when you put gloves on, it doesn't warm up. It's just cold fingers.
You're close. It's similar to that. It's when your fingers are so cold, texting is almost impossible. Specifically
see?
texting.
I was
like
closer on that.
I
one.
think that could also extend to like gaming or like typing or something.
Yeah, when they're so
like
cold.
when
they
they're
just don't
cold, like
move.
they just get stiff and you're like you can't move them or they like hurt to move. That's icicle fingers.
Okay.
So third one is Poormouthing. What is Poormouthing?
Is that P-O-U-R?
P-O-U-R mouthing.
One word?
One word.
Oh, jeez.
You use it in a sentence? No,
Pour
I'm kidding.
into the mouth.
Not poor. Yeah, not P-O-O-R.
Yeah. Dang, Urban Dictionary, why you gotta be so...
Oh wait, no. Pour is pouring. Pour. I misspelled it. P-O-O-R. Pour, like you're poor.
Oh, like
I'm sorry.
Poormouthing.
I
the
misspelled
poor
it
people.
myself. Yeah, poor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So poor people.
Well, but poor mouthing.
Is that like... It's when you
I'm
give
off camera, I just realized.
it's when you say a derogatory comment to a homeless person.
No. Poor mouthing is someone who has money but goes around complaining how they don't have enough money to pay for bills or food. So like the necessities.
Oh, okay.
Like they have money to spend, they just don't want to spend it on necessities, and they go around complaining how they don't have enough money.
First world problems.
That's poor mouthing.
Yeah.
Fourth word is headphone zombie.
Headphones.
What's a headphone zombie?
I think I've heard this before. Headphone zombie. It's those people that walk around with their headphones on, like in the mall, with their headphones on all the time, and they're just completely oblivious
Yeah,
to everything.
that's basically it. Here's the Urban Dictionary definition. It's when someone is wearing headphones and is completely unresponsive to the outside world, usually traveling in packs but rarely communicating to each other.
Yeah. See? Yep, just completely oblivious to everything.
And finally, what is throwing pillows?
Throwing pillows. It's like the fatality in a pillow fight.
No. It is when you have a really weak punch. Like,
you're throwing pillows.
You're throwing pillows.
I get it.
Like throwing
It's
punches.
It's like in boxing.
Yeah.
If somebody. Yeah. Okay.
So there's my 5. What's your 5?
Okay.
I can't see it. Are you off camera? I just want to make sure.
I think
Because
I'm
I
okay.
was off camera the entire time.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got 5, but I also got a 6th one that doesn't exactly fit like as definition, but it made me laugh.
Okay.
And it's clean. All right. So the first one is a dab. What is a dab?
Oh, I know. It's a move. It's doing that. It's a dance move.
A dance move?
Yeah.
No.
What?
Sorry.
That's what it is, though.
A dab, maybe not an Urban Dictionary. A dab is when a cyclist touches the ground with his or her foot, shoe, etc. It is avoided in many disciplines such as mountain biking and trail riding.
Okay.
So in a sentence, it'd be like, I made it without crashing, but I had to dab once.
Oh, okay.
So you were close. Different sport, but same general
Different
idea.
sport. Is dancing a sport? I probably just angered a bunch of
It
people.
probably it's a discipline. It's kind of like any martial art.
I know I
or
was when I was dating
gymnastics.
Megan, I always argued that dancing wasn't a sport, and she got really mad whenever I did that.
Yeah.
Anyways, you were saying.
So yeah, okay. So another
Second
word. Turtle.
These are all like actual words, but they mean something different on Urban Dictionary.
That's the thing. You gotta think like an Urban Dictionary person.
Turtling
What
is
would
when
a turtle be?
when you're so.
Oh, it's a noun. It's not a verb. It's a noun. So what is a turtle?
An amphibious mammal. I don't know. When you said it's a noun,
It's
so
a
that
noun.
completely this throws out all my stuff. I have no idea what.
Once I say it, you're gonna laugh. It's a person, or usually a large group of people, who walk really slowly right in front of you. Turtles make it impossible to get around them or to get where you need to be in time.
Yeah, that's pretty much every like girl clique in the school in the hallway.
Yeah, they walk so
well,
slow.
Okay, I don't want to be sexist. It's guys too.
It's any
guys
clique.
do it. Yeah, it's anybody.
It's when they
take
line
up
and they
the
take up
entire
whole
wall
hallway.
and they walk really slowly. They're talking down the line. Yeah,
Yeah,
that happens.
it's obnoxious.
Third word.
Third word is vish.
Vish.
V-I-S-H.
It's when you try to say this, but you have braces.
Would you like to try again?
What? What is it?
It's when something is going to be really cool, such as a party.
What?
It's going to be vish.
So
It's a word.
That's so stupid. I feel like
Oh,
mine are all
also,
dumb.
it could be also referring to a girl's behind. So that is a vish.
But
Yeah.
okay.
Booty. They use the word booty, which that word
Okay.
makes me laugh every time.
4.
All right, that one. This was probably the most strange.
If you're joining us
that one
after
was
our
a bit
technical
far.
difficulties screen, Colby had a really bad definition. I'm glad you have 6.
I have
so,
6. Okay, next one. It's Starbucks is the 6th one.
Starbucks.
But what would the Urban Dictionary of Starbucks be?
Starbucks are the money you earn from your boyfriend or girlfriend after doing something they like. They're Starbucks.
Oh, gee. You're cute. No, that's not it at all. It's where you're going to end up if you have a.
It's like cookie points from your mom or something. But you were going.
It's where you're going to end up if you have a master's degree in the following: art history, fine arts, philosophy, or literature.
Hey! Wait a minute. I'm going into an art.
So yeah, all the hipsters out there, y'all just got burned.
No, number 6, because I cut the 4th one.
I skipped one, didn't I? No, that's all of them.
What's that one?
2. Oh, yeah.
So number 5 for the video, number 6 for the radio.
WellGoff.
Spell it.
Well, WELL, GOFF. WellGoff.
GOFF. Well, golf. It's like an exclamation, like well shoot, like well golf, but it has to do with a Southerner playing golf who can't say golf. He's like well golf.
Oh, that's funny. Wrong.
No.
But it's a phrase used to describe people who try too hard to be different and alternative. They usually have websites full of their angst-filled poetry and love to tell others of their pain.
So, Will Smith's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaden Smith.
Jaden Smith.
In a nutshell.
I'm glad he's gone off the internet.
You know what'd
he
be
was
funny
stupid.
is if Jaden Smith and Shia LaBeouf started like
a YouTube channel.
Traveling, what were they called? The traveling duets, where they just go to towns and just be themselves.
Comedy sketches or something.
I'd pay money to see that.
Well, I mean, isn't Shia LaBeouf in jail or something? I think he's still in jail for he like screamed "Just Do It" at a bunch of people in some state or something. He was like going around at like midnight yelling "Just Do It" and like yelling at people.
Weird. Okay.
So he's in jail for public disturbance.
When he gets on parole, him and Jaden Smith,
and Jaden Smith can go on tour.
It
so that's our mini segment, and that was Dictionary Dunces, or at least that's our temporary name for it. Yeah. So moving on to his segment, we've got... I did it again. We've got movies and comics.
Movies and comics.
There, I put a transition in this time. That was loud.
That was really loud. I did not expect it to be that loud. All right, so, blah. So this is all... So, the stuff I'm going to cover is news since the last recording. So from last Monday.
So like a week and a half.
So a week and a half. So this is going to go back a little farther than usual. But Deadpool came out that the Friday right after we recorded it. I saw it that Friday. It was really good. Very Deadpool-y. For all you kids listening out there, probably aren't, but...
Did you see some of his like Deadpool, quote unquote Deadpool, like the Facebook page Deadpool, like his posts, like about the mothers complaining. The mother's complaining about his son wanting to go see the Deadpool movie. He's like, listen, it's like a nice polite letter, but with Deadpool swearing in it. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
but it's like,
I can
listen, kids, my movies are rated for a reason. If you want to go see it, then.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right, so Deadpool. How do I describe Deadpool? Deadpool is pretty much what I described him in the posters. He's the mark with the mouth. Powers of Wolverine. He's got swords. He's got guns. This one is very comic book accurate. They changed a little things with his origin story, basically just to simplify it, because he has a very weird origin. So they simplified some things, and it worked nice. And the greatest part about this movie is the fact that it's rated R. Because even though you kiddens can't see it yet, it is probably the best representation of Deadpool they could ever put in a movie. Because the last time they did it in a PG-13 setting, that was not Deadpool. And that was in X-Men Origins Wolverine, when they sewed his mouth shut, and they gave him teleportation, and they gave him the weird Baraka Mortal Kombat swords out of his arms. So that didn't work. So the rated R-ness definitely gave the writers and directors a lot of leeway. And right out of the gate, right from the opening credits, which I'm not going to spoil, it tells you exactly what kind of movie you're in for.
Does it break the fourth wall, like in the credits?
Yes, because and for those of you watching that haven't seen it yet, make sure you read every credit in the opening credits. Because
is it like the whole Monty Python kind of humor?
It is very kind of Monty Python, because it's fourth wall breaking.
Yeah,
but nobody's saying anything. It's just the words
text
up there are hilarious, and even the Monty Python credits, as hilarious as they are, they always actually showed like the usual stuff in the credits, because they added stuff. Yeah, this one they go all out in the credits. It's great. I'm not gonna spoil it. It's so good. See it, and then. From then on, it's nothing but action, violence, Deadpool, like being so so crude in his lines because Deadpool, he talks a lot, and the stuff he talks about, he's very calm about it. He doesn't really get mad a lot, so he just says stuff like "go F yourself," or he just spews stuff like one-liners and stuff, and that Ryan Reynolds did that perfectly in this movie because he's so good at doing it. If you watch any of his other movies, he does it a lot. So Ryan Reynolds, great choice for Deadpool. And then even the X-Men that are in this movie, which are Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, they are great because they show the PG-13 side of superhero movies, because we have so many PG-13 superhero movies now.
Right. With
Marvel, we got DC's coming out with a whole line of new ones, and then the Fox X-Men. And so Colossus in the comics is a very nice, mild-mannered Russian dude. He's huge in the comics. He's like 7 feet tall in the comics, and they made him 7 feet tall in the movie too, which is great. But in the comics, Colossus is so nice, and he likes everyone to be happy. And he's just like, why is there all this violence? Why can't we just?
Why is he a
be
superhero
nice?
then?
Well, I mean, he's an X-Men. The X-Men aren't very violent people, except for Wolverine. He's very violent. But the X-Men are basically peacekeepers. They just want to be left alone because they're mutants.
Right.
They're hated by people, but they just like to be left alone. So Colossus is one of those more pacifistic people. And then you got Deadpool, who's just like decapitating people and shooting people in the head and playing with their deceased bodies as like puppets, and it's really funny and violent and gruesome. But like the banter between the two, because Colossus like, Deadpool, join the X-Men, be nice to us, and don't be killing people. And Deadpool's like, no, I'm gonna shoot him in the head. Boom. It's like, yeah, it's great. So that's Deadpool. Deadpool, very funny movie, very adult movie, but I mean, they couldn't do it any other way, because that's how you gotta do Deadpool. Next, DC, from Marvel to DC, switching gears a little bit. DC has announced that they are making a whole new line this year of animated movies, because DC has done a really good job with their animated movies. They did The Dark Knight Returns. It was a 2-part animated movies. And then they did they did Under the Red Hood. They did a couple Justice League ones. They did Justice League War, Throne of Atlantis. I mean, they've just come up with some really good ones, and they're all based off of comics out there. They basically transfer the comic into animation, and most of the time it's a very seamless transition. They may change a couple things. Probably their best animated graphic novel to movie transition is The Dark Knight Returns, because they took exact designs and artwork and just storyboards directly from it, and it was so great. So they released that they're making a whole lineup of new ones. The only one that's I remember is The Killing Joke. They're going to be making a Killing Joke movie.
Is that the Batman?
That is the Batman one with the Joker. We've talked about it before. I think I brought it in a previous episode. But it's basically, this was made in the 80s. This is back when comics started to go a little bit dark. That's when The Dark Knight Returns came out, and Watchmen, and V for Vendetta, and 300. That's when all those were being made. And The Killing Joke was written by the same guy who wrote Watchmen. And it takes a very interesting look at the Joker. It fleshes out a bit more of his origin, but then cancels that out at the very end when he says he doesn't remember. So all that could be lies. And then you see Joker on a mission. And most Batman comics have him on a mission of some sort, but it's kind of obscured by his insanity. In this one, his mission is his insanity. And he has a mission which is just one bad day can turn a sane person into a lunatic. And he tries to test it on Jim Gordon, Commissioner Gordon. And he kidnaps him, and he shoots Barbara, which is probably the most iconic scene in the whole comic, is when he rings the doorbell, Barbara opens the door, boom, dead, shattered spine, put in a wheelchair for the rest of the comics until New 52. And then he just does everything he can to break Gordon, which he doesn't. Gordon's still fine because he's a good guy, and Batman saves him last minute, so that's good. But what's really interesting about this new animated Killing Joke adaptation is that the producer, maybe an executive producer, but the guy in charge is Bruce Timm, and he's the guy who oversaw all the animated DCs. He was the guy in charge of the Batman animated series. if you remember that, and the Superman animated series and the Justice League animated series.
See, those were good.
They were
like
very
those.
good.
I like those animated
So
series.
he has a lot of experience in DC animation. And a lot of speculation is that he might get Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy to reprise the roles of Batman and the Joker for this.
Yes.
So that would be very cool.
That would be
Hasn't
great.
been confirmed, but they're such
Hamill was
great-
the Joker, right?
Hamill was the
Yeah,
Joker.
That was great.
Such a great
Yeah.
voice. So that's cool. And then also, because The Killing Joke, if you guys have read it or have even just seen it, it's a very thin book. There's not a whole lot to it. It's basically, it has two storylines. One is the flashback storyline with Joker origin, and then the other one is the trying to break Jim Gordon. And it's very quick. It's like a day long. Like throughout the course, it's a day.
Yeah.
One bad day, of course.
Yep.
And there's not a whole lot there. So what Bruce Timm is trying to do is he wants to expand the story a bit more so it can fit the runtime of a full movie. So it'll be very interesting to see what parts get added to what. I assume because the ending is very iconic also because it's very ambiguous to see, did Batman kill the Joker? Did Joker just leave? What happened? I feel like they're going to keep that ambiguous, but they're going to expand the beginning a bit more because it starts out with Batman walking into Arkham. He wants to have a deep conversation with the Joker. Figures out Joker's escaped already.
Right.
Then he gets mad and goes after the Joker. It'd be nice to see a little before that, like what was Batman just in the Batcave thinking about stuff and he decided, I'm going to visit the Joker? Or did he fight a villain that got him thinking? Or like some scene before that would be nice to add. And also, he could expand on the Joker origin a little bit because it's very short.
Right.
You got Joker in this
Doesn't he
version.
talk about the Red Hood a little bit?
Yes, it shows. It's told from the Joker's perspective, and it's through flashbacks, so
Right.
you don't know if it's true or not.
Right.
But it's Joker, as a failing stand-up comedian with a pregnant wife in an apartment that they're like the rent is through the roof, and they're going to be evicted soon. And then he needs money for the baby, so he goes to the mob. He agrees to be the Red Hood for one day, breaks into the chemical plant, falls into the acid when Batman comes up. And now he's a Joker. So that very short. I think they might expand more on like what happened to his wife, what happened to the baby. It says they died, but you never actually see or hear anything beyond that. So that'd be cool for them to add to that. Yeah. So The Killing Joke. Look out for that. It's gonna be a direct to DVD.
Do you know
release.
the year?
It's this year.
It is this year,
It is
really?
this year, 2016.
Surprised they haven't talked about it much.
Well, it's the DC
Because like the whole they had the whole release for the Suicide Squad and everything, and then the whole Batman versus Superman movie and everything.
Yeah, right.
If it's coming out this year, why haven't they?
It's
talked
coming
about
out this year, but it's not going to be theatrically released.
Oh,
It's going to be a
okay.
direct-to-DVD,
Oh,
like a lot
okay.
of their animated things. Which,
Oh, it's animated.
yeah, it's animated.
Oh, you said the whole
I said animated
yeah,
at the beginning,
I
yeah.
didn't.
So, yeah, it's going to be animated. I feel like DC should jump at the chance, maybe not a wide release, but a limited release of some of their animated stuff, because it's really good.
Yeah.
Their animation department is very skilled at transferring the comics into movies.
I'm trying to think. I was watching some video about something, and they were talking about one of the artists who worked on the Batman animated series, and he was doing some art for Disney, I think.
Oh,
Like or it might have been like one of the artists that worked on like an old Disney movie, like then got his fame from that and worked on the Batman animated series.
okay.
And then now he's in like some art department for Star Wars, I think.
Cool.
That
That is very cool. Yeah.
I could be completely wrong, but I think that's what I was.
Yeah, so the next one, the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice movie
Yep.
is coming out soon in like less than a month. So
Hyped.
I'm hyped for that.
We should go see it.
We should.
Both of us, and then we can both give a review on it.
That'd be very cool. But the thing is, they released a trailer not too long ago of Batman v Superman, but it was a different kind of trailer than what we've gotten so far. A lot of the trailers for Batman v Superman that have come out have either been like just real quick little teasers of just Batman and Superman facing
Right.
off, or they've been like overblown, like this is the movie beginning to end.
Right.
What's in it?
Right.
The end.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, especially the Doomsday thing.
Yeah.
Which isn't a spoiler anymore because it is in the trailer.
Yep.
Um,
Well, it was.
it was going to be. But yes, but this one takes it back a little bit.
Oh, is this I think I know what you're talking about.
This is the Batman one, where it focuses a lot on Batman.
Oh, no, never mind.
No, okay.
I don't know what you're... Go ahead.
Yeah, so it starts out, you see Batman, like, in the Batwing, I think. Is that Batwing or Batmobile? And he's going into, like, this warehouse where there's a bunch of bad guards in it. And it's like a one scene it shows. And he, like, comes up through the floor and then takes out everybody in the room. Using batarangs, using ropes, using just all of his gadgets.
Sweet.
And just a lot of punching. It reminded me a lot of the Arkham games. The combat in that, where he's just like, he's dodging, he's flipping using his cape. Is very cool. And when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, Ben Affleck is Batman. I am Team Affleck now. So I'm not worried.
Affleck!
And what was great about this is that it finally established what kind of Batman we were getting. Because as great as Christian Bale was as Batman, his fighting wasn't that
It was
good.
very stale. It was
very stale. It was very much like boxing.
Yeah.
And he would like dodge and throw a couple punches, uppercut, but there was nothing stylish about it. There was nothing ninja-like about it. Even though in Batman Begins, he trained with ninjas.
Right.
He should have ninja training. This one, it was just so much more Batman. When I saw it, I felt like that was Batman. So that was really cool. And then it showed a couple clips that we've seen before about the clips with Batman and Superman facing off. You see a little bit of Wonder Woman. You see that the Mr. White clip was like, nobody cares about Clark Kent taking down the Batman.
Yeah.
And so a couple other clips and then it ends. So it was very short, very sweet, but I'm so glad that they finally established Batman. Because that would have either made or broke this movie.
Yeah.
Is how well they did Batman. So I'm really pleased with that. And then the last thing I had for my segment was a movie.
I'm sorry. Can we, before you move on, I thought you were going to talk about, I don't know how old it is, but I just, like, in the past week, saw the one where it's the drawn-out discussion between Lex Luthor and Batman, or Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. They, like
the three of them?
The drawn out, the longer
it's like,
trailer.
Don't pick a fight with that person.
Yeah, I liked that one because you got to see more of what's the actor who plays Lex Luthor in this one?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. You get to see more of his comedic sort of like joking around with them in that trailer.
Yeah,
I like that.
Jesse Eisenberg. I'm not as sold on him as I am on Batman. Batman, I'm all for because I forgot to mention this. Is later on one of the clips, you see some of the Jesse Eisenberg clips where he's like, you're psychotic. That's a 3-syllable word for thoughts too big for little minds, and he flicks her on the head.
Right.
And then you see a lot more of his sinister side, which I hadn't really seen a lot in the other trailers. And then in that one, you see a lot more of the jokey persona that he puts on for the public. Right. Which I'm thinking if they do this smartly, they could do it because Lex Luthor in the comics, he was never really a jokey person. He was usually all business, very stoic. Right. He was a big guy, bald.
What's with the whole having hair?
I think either Jesse Eisenberg, he's gonna go bald at
in
some
the
point
movie
throughout the movie, or it's a wig because they have done that before with Lex Luthor. They have had him just wear wigs so people don't look at him funny.
Right.
So yeah, and because what made me nervous is when that trailer came out, I'm like, well, Lex Luthor isn't very jokey. Like his performance in that scene reminded me more of like the Riddler or Mad Hatter, or just some other kind of campy.
But
version.
he wasn't super upbeat. He was more of a reporter type, kind of just trying to.
It wasn't too over the top.
Yeah.
It was just a little bit where I was like, I'm not so sure about that. But based on the other clips, I'm thinking if they do it smart, they could do it where that upbeat thing is his persona. That's like his mask, and that's what he does in like the press conference and everything. And then when he's like by himself, he's like really that evil, maniacal person.
Right. Yeah.
He has the deeper voice and.
Right.
And so it'd be really cool if they did that, where there'd be two sides of him and make him a more interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Lex Luthor. And then the last thing I want to talk about is this movie is called Wildflower, and it came out the same day as Deadpool. I saw it actually the day before Deadpool. I saw it Thursday night. Deadpool came out Thursday night too, I guess.
But then technically opening day,
Friday.
Yeah.
But Wildflower is It's an independent movie. It's made by like a couple guys. It was very low budget film. It was made by like 3 guys and their crew. And it's a Christian movie, but it's not preachy. Like,
right.
There's not really a message to it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, yeah, it's made by a Christian group of guys, but they're just there to make a good movie,
right.
not a good sermon.
Yeah.
So, but what it's about is about this girl who has she has these visions. I'm not gonna spoil it.